He supposedly stole the design from someone, and they sued him and they won $27 million. Okay. Now, just on top of that lawsuit, he got cracked for another $5.5 million lawsuit from Rick Ross's ex-wife when he released a tape of her. So right there, he owes $32 million. Okay. You really think that 50 Cent was going to pay $32 million to these people? Like, first of all, he's got a dispute with these people. They're not just like random people. These are people who like he has a serious problem with. And then the court's like, yeah, you owe them $32 million. And then as soon as it's discharged, that is legally discharged. You don't owe that money anymore, right? So he owed this one 5, he owes this one 27. This one probably gets 4 million. She gets 1 or whatever, you know. And then they discharge the rest. And then 5 seconds after the bankruptcy was discharged, he signed a $100 million deal with Stars. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to talk about Jake Paul's bankruptcy. Oh, damn. Jake Paul filed bankruptcy? Nah. I'm going to talk to you about how Jake Paul will handle losing this lawsuit in the event that he potentially lost the lawsuit, right? We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to also tell you a story about another very famous person who lost a very expensive lawsuit and how they handled it, because it's really notable. It's good information for you to have in case you ever become really famous and rich and you lose an enormous lawsuit. This is an important story, but there's also more to this whole thing with Jake Paul. We'll talk about that in a second, but first I'm going to read you guys an advertisement, and you know why I'm going to do that? Because it's the very last one. Normally, I just say them, because I figure I'm more entertaining that way. I'm going to show you, this is how you read an ad, son, okay? This is how you read an ad from IPVanish. Do you know that browsing using incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? That's right. Without security, you might as well give all of your data away to the hackers, son. That's why I use IPVanish VPN to make it as easy as possible to truly stay private. IPVanish helps with all kinds of things like not getting your data stolen. I can't even do it. I tried. I can't do it. Do you know what happens if someone gets into your computer or your phone and takes away your social security number? They have you. They could just sit on it for 2 years, wait till you're rich, and then take all your money. Or they could frame you for a crime international. Don't be stupid. Get a VPN. If you talk to anyone who is in any kind of cybersecurity, they will tell you you're embarrassing yourself if you don't have one. Get one. You go to ipvanish.com/Jesse. Use the promo code Jesse, Jesse, and you will get a tremendous deal. Anyway, so that's that. Now, let's jump into this thing. We're going to talk about Jake Paul because, like I said, he's facing a big lawsuit, right? And here's the deal with that, okay? So if he did lose this lawsuit, what he's going to do is he's not going to pay it, okay? He's not. This is only like kind of about Jake Paul. It's more about 50 Cent because 50 Cent faced a very similar situation to this, and it's an important story for people to know if you want to be, an intelligent, smart person with lots of knowledge, okay? So let's say Jake Paul lost this lawsuit. Let's say that they awarded damages of $60 million, right? Now, Jake Paul's rich. You know, he's a rich guy. You know, people are like, wait, what did Jake Paul make last year? It's like 40 million. It's like, all right, yeah, 40 million. But I will promise you that got paid out to corporations that he owns, you know, taxes, whatever. It's not like he banked $40 million, which is not me throwing rocks at it. I'm just talking about how much money he probably has sitting liquid in a bank somewhere, right? So I can't remember the number I said. I think I said 60 million, right? So he gets cracked for 60 million, okay? He's got 22 million in a bank. He's got liquidatable investments. He could probably get to about whatever, 35. He could probably touch 35. Is that 60? You know, if you owe 60 million, but you can touch 35, what do you do, right? What do you do? Here's what you do is you file bankruptcy. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that Jake doesn't have the money to pay or does. I'm talking about, this is a hypothetical situation. I'm saying, hypothetically, you owe more than you have. What you do is you file bankruptcy. Okay, so in that scenario, they would take the money that you have, they would pay off all your creditors with your money, right? They would leave you with a little bit of money to live. They'd probably leave you with your property, whatever. So they would take the money that you owed, boom, pay it out to them, okay? Then, in, I don't know, call it 6 months or a year, they'll discharge the bankruptcy. And at that point, the remainder of the money that you owed them goes bye-bye. You don't owe it anymore, right? So like, let's say you ended up paying them 30 of the 60, okay? You paid your other creditors, blah, 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 whatever, okay? It's all gone now. You don't owe that money anymore. That's what filing bankruptcy is. I don't think people really understand how bankruptcy works. It takes debts that you can't pay, and then a third party comes in and assesses. They're like, well, I mean, I think you can pay a little bit more. Here, look at this. Look at this thing that you have. We got to sell this. You owe it to this guy, right? I mean, it's a terrible, terrible thing to go through. It's a terrible thing to go through. But the process is they come through and then they sell things and then they give it to the people that you owe money. Now, would that be a big win for Eddie Hearn? For sure. But hypothetically, if you knew the process, right? Like, that's how it works. I mean, as an example, like 50 Cent lost a $27 million lawsuit to the guys who he had that headphone company when he copied beats. He supposedly stole the design from someone, and they sued him and they won $27 million. Okay. Now, just on top of that lawsuit, he got cracked for another $5.5 million lawsuit from Rick Ross's ex-wife when he released a sex tape of her. So right there, he owes $32 million. Okay. You really think that 50 Cent was going to pay $32 million to these people? Like, first of all, he's got a dispute with these people. They're not just like random people. These are people who he has a serious problem with. And then the court's like, yeah, you owe them $32 million. You think that he was going to pay that money? And so what did he do? Now, I don't know the exact details of what they were paid or what they weren't, but I know that he filed bankruptcy. And what I really doubt is that 50 Cent couldn't have put hands on $32 million if he wanted to. And so if I were going to hypothesize, because I'm not making a direct accusation, I'm hypothesizing that given that he knew he was exposed in this lawsuit, he could have spent the previous year doing things where he put the money in places that it can't get touched. They can't, listen, there's no criminal liability for making bad investments, Like, oh man, dude, listen, I didn't know how this was going to go. I put money in this company and whatever, geez, now it's all gone. I invested in this company. Now it's all gone. Look at what happened over there. It's a bad investment. It's a bad investment. They're all right. Well, can we look at their books? You're all, of course you can't. Well, why not? What do you mean look at their books? That's a private company. Look at their books. Why would you get to look at their books? I told you. Ask them. They're like, yeah, the investment is worth nothing now. Yeah, see, I told you it's not worth anything. All right. You guys don't know each other, do you? Oh, no, yeah, we're childhood best friends. Yeah. Yeah, the CEO over there, he's a childhood best friend. You guys aren't pulling a thing where you're trying to hide money, are you? No. I'm just terrible at investing. And he's my best friend, so I made a really bad decision. Crypto, all kinds of stuff. So like, well, how much money do you have? He's like, I could probably put my hand on like 6 million right now. 6 million? Geez, you owe 32. Yeah, he went to court and sat in court. He was he literally said, he's like, my whole life is all a fabrication. He's like, my house, it's like I owe a lot of money on it. Like all the cars and everything, they're all leased. Like I don't own anything. I don't own any assets, man. I don't own anything. Now I remember, I knew what he was doing then because like we said, they're going to take what you do have and then they're going to discharge it. So you paid 6 instead of the 32. And then they go, you pretend like you're broke for however long you have to do that for. I'm just saying hypothetically, I'm not saying he actually did this. And then as soon as it's discharged, that is legally discharged. You don't owe that money anymore, right? So he owed this one 5, he owes this one 27. This one probably gets 4 million. She gets 1 or whatever, And then they discharge the rest. And then 5 seconds after the bankruptcy was discharged, he signed a $100 million deal with Stars. $100 million development deal with Stars, which I'm sure he's done many more deals since then because he has like 1 million shows on Stars. So if I were advising Jake Paul, I would just say, don't do anything illegal. Don't do anything. Never, ever, ever do anything illegal. But also, it might be a good idea not to have a whole lot of cash on hand in the event that you did end up losing this lawsuit. Because if you really needed to, you could file bankruptcy. And then as soon as it gets discharged, over the previous year when you're negotiating deals, like let me tell you what there's definitely not a law against, right? You filed bankruptcy. They're doing the settlement. They're figuring everything out. It's really like, it's really crushing your ego because the whole world thinks you're broke, because the 99% of people are too fucking stupid to understand how any of this works. Like I'm watching 50 Cent file bankruptcy. I'm like, what a fucking gangster. What a fucking gangster. I wonder how he hid all of his money. I'm watching it going, damn, I wonder how he hid all of his fucking money. And all these idiots are all 50 cent. I remember seeing a headline that said 50 Cent does not have 2 quarters to rub together. I was like, oh, is that what that means? You fucking idiot. He just lost a $32 million lawsuit, dude. His bankruptcy means he hid his money and he's not going to have to pay the $32 million. He's doing gangster shit that you wouldn't understand. Dumb fuck that wrote this goddamn article. I'm not saying he did that. I'm just saying, because that would probably be illegal, what I'm implying. And I don't think he necessarily did that. I'm just saying, like, you know, he probably got out of those lawsuits for a hell of a lot less than $32 million. So again, we call that the 50 cent model, you know? So if you're facing a lawsuit where you owe a lot of money, don't pretend like everything always. I know, like I heard Jake and Logan describe their mindset as something like psychotically optimistic, and I agree with that, and it has served them very well. I would say in the case of like lawsuits, psychotically optimistic, and then also maybe like prepared just in case, you know, just in case, you know, because as that example that I gave right there of the bad investment, you know, the really, really bad investment, like you would definitely want to do that long before you ended up with a judgment on your face, you know, so that it doesn't look like fraud, since that would be fraud in the event that you just handed money over to some corporation as an investment, you know, and then they were like, it's gone. He actually invested, you know, it's gone, man. It's gone. It's gone. I mean, maybe they actually could subpoena that, you know. I don't really know. I'm not, like I said, that sounds illegal. Now that I'm saying it out loud, that sounds illegal. That was not like a well thought out idea. But, you know, talk to a professional about how to not have a lot of cash on hand in the event that you got cracked on this lawsuit that you are very exposed on. I'm just saying. Bankruptcy's your friend, dude. Sometimes. You want to know what's insane? I want to know what's fucking insane? So you can discharge any debt, like literally any debt, anything. Like let's say that you, like literally think of any situation. The only thing they don't discharge is student loans. How fucked is that, dude? So like you could file bankruptcy, have everything discharged like where any other person would get any, like no matter what the debt is, and they would get everything discharged. If you have student loans, you can't get rid of them. Like there's just, you can't get rid of, like they're like nothing you can do. So 50 Cent and Jake Paul can get out of, you know, or maybe like hypothetically, there's probably ways around, like, you know, like they won't owe anything after they file bankruptcy and everything. Like as a matter of fact, anybody, any rich person or any person that's not rich, they file bankruptcy, they owe nothing afterwards. Nothing. Okay. They don't owe anything. They figured it all out. They don't owe anything. Student loans, they don't even look at them. They're like, no, you owe that forever. Yeah. You owe that forever. Why? Well, because too many students were filing bankruptcy to get rid of their student loans. But they had to file bankruptcy to do that. It's not like it's like all fucking roses and sunshine, right? Well, yeah, but too many of them were doing it. And so what are they doing now? They're all in default. Like they're literally all in default. Oh, what are you doing about that? Oh, we were, you know, we gave them a $10,000 reduction. You're all $10,000. Okay, first of all, like all that is enough to piss everyone off, not help anyone. You know, people who have student loan problems are in six figures, you know, $10,000. It almost seems like you're trying to buy votes or something. I'm just saying, like, it's not really that kind of channel. But anyway, love you guys. That's what I got.